Hello, everyone. Welcome you all to the Vidyadan session. And today we talk about the use of AI in multilingual audio generation. And the person who gotta introduce about it is just one and only Ramchandra Vaibhav. He's a co-founder of DreamSync. And right now he's pursuing bachelor's in engineering and master's in physics from BITS, Pilani, Goa. And his company, DreamSync, worked tirelessly to provide AI audio services and also explore into multiple domains ranging from voiceover to accessibility tech, breaking language barriers, and making data efficient models. I think such young entrepreneurs need to inspire us. So I think Weber, whole session is on you now. So go for it.
Thank you, Vanshika. First of all, thanks for all that introduction. It's very grateful that I'm here interacting with people. A lot of things that we do is very not open because a lot of things involve a lot of data, privacy, and stuff. But one of the very important things for us is to interact with people because that is where we understand how people approach a certain AI tool or a certain AI service that a company provides. Mainly, it is very important for me to see that, understand, and plan accordingly. So it's a great opportunity for us to learn a lot from you guys. So don't hesitate to interact with us. Yeah, if you have any doubts, you can put it on chat. Uh, we'll reach out to you as fast as we can. Cool.
Absolutely, I request
So
viewers
should I
just
present my
ask how
screen?
much, just ask the questions as many as possible. And I'm so sorry, Weber, for interrupting in between. So yes, now I'm not gonna speak. It's only Weber who's gonna speak now. All right.
Okay, cool. So I'll share a Menti link before I share my screen. So you guys can go to the Mentimeter link and we'll first understand who's watching here because it's very important for us to understand the audience.
तो इधर से आने
So
ही वहीं
I'm
से दे
sharing.
दो
Uh, Gaurav, yes, can you mute for a little while?
I have done it, Vaibhav. I have done it.
Thank you,
So
sir.
let me tell you the audience, the live audience, there is live audience who would not be able to connect with us. All right. But we have some
Okay.
core members of MESC and a couple of our industry partners who are there in the Zoom link. Other than that, you, my friend, are all over live across India. Okay. So through our platform, through our training partners, everybody is seeing you. And on the behalf of all the viewers across wherever they are seeing you, we will post the questions. Some of our industry partners and team members will post it on the chat over here. But other than that, whatever questions we receive, I'll make it a point that Navdeep sends it over to you by end of the day today or tomorrow, and you can give us the details on that. Right? Sounds good?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
okay then. I'll present my, yeah, thank you, sir. I'll present my screen then. Just give me a while. Okay. Hope it's visible.
Yes, absolutely. We can see your screen now.
Hello. Thank you. Yeah. So, before we start, first and foremost, thing that everyone watching needs to understand why to go into multilingual audio generation, right? Because most of people for content, for books, for audiobooks mainly, what they do is they record audio from a voice artist and then they present their content online across platforms. But it becomes very important for a person sitting in, let's say, Bareilly in UP or a person sitting down in some rural parts of Karnataka, and he wants to listen to something very interesting that you guys are making, but he can't because he's not that fluent in English or the language that you're making. So that is where we come into picture. That is where multilingual audio comes into picture, and that is where reach comes into picture. So let me go forward a little bit and introduce myself. This is Vaibhav. It's a little awkward that I'm introducing myself, but it's completely fine. So I'm pursuing my BTech and MSc from BITS Pilani, and I'm currently working on this project, DreamSync. I'm co-founder of it with along with two other guys, Ram and Amlan. We are based out of Goa. It's a very wonderful place. We are currently operating from Hyderabad, and we are open for you guys to try our website, try our web app, and it's available on the link. You can say it once this meeting is over. And apart from all this, I know I'll be very boring in this meeting. So bear with me for a while. There's a surprise for you guys, whoever is watching through all the platforms. But the surprise is in the last. So bear with me for mid time. Okay. Okay. Before we go into how to generate audio in multiple languages, first we'll understand what types of audio that generally we deal with, right? Because most of the time we listen to audio on a radio or a movie or audiobooks and stuff, but we don't actually think as constructively differentiating them as two different things, right? So I've done that, and there's a reason behind it. I'll tell you. So we can divide audio into two very important things. One is a scripted audio. A scripted audio is something which is like a dialogue in a movie is scripted before it is performed, right? Or you can talk about audiobooks. The whole content is scripted. Only the emotion is, expressed. So all this is scripted audio. Then there comes prompt audio. That is where your cricket commentary, your radio jockey, that is where they come into picture, where whatever they speak, whatever they emote, is completely impromptu according to the situation that they are. Correct. So I've divided this into two parts because in AI generally, scripted audios, uh, because they're scripted, the script can be generated using I don't have to tell. You can use ChatGPT for that. You can use other AI tools to just generate the script and then maybe convert into audio, right? So that is one thing. But for impromptu, you have audio only. You don't have any script behind it, and that becomes a little bit difficult to do. So I'm going to discuss both of them uh, in the next slide. But I hope this is little clear for you guys. Okay. So that is we are here looking at how to do audio in multiple languages. One provides us a script. So if you have a script in language, let's say language A, and then we have this interesting mystery box which we design it ourselves now and see how the audio is generated. Correct? That is first. That is for the scripted one. Next, if we there comes the audio to audio conversion, which is for the unscripted, right? So again, the same thing, the audio in language A is converted into audio in language B, and that is done using a mystery box. This is again we'll design together. There's a little difference between the two mystery boxes that I've shown before. These two differentiated only one real function, and which we'll discuss a little later. Okay. Yeah. So scripted audio. Now, as I described it before, scripted audio is something which is predominantly dialogue. It's written before it's performed on stage, and uh, the major thing of scripted audio nowadays is, for example, if you're making a content, you're making, let's say, YouTube content, and you want to target for, let's say, content creators itself. In that case, just give a prompt and generate the content, and then maybe edit according to your needs, according to the time given to you. Let's say you're making 30 seconds of content, and you have generated, let's say, 60 minutes or 50 minutes of speech, and so you have to, balance between both. And that is also done. You can actually ask the ChatGPT or any other AI tool which is text-based. You can ask it to compress the text. You can ask it to make it more precise, more interesting, and stuff like that. Uh, for example, I made this PPT with the help of it, but not completely. So the very important thing why I'm dividing these audio into two parts is because every AI tool nowadays, as Sir before mentioned, has a differentiating factor, and the differentiation factor is always w- a tool or a toolbox that they provide, in order to better their product. But it's very important to understand or judge a particular AI tool into something which is not completely scripted or something which is not completely motive. What I mean by that is, if a speech has complete audio, if a speech has complete emotion, it sounds natural to us. If a speech doesn't have audio, it might sound like me right now, or it might sound a little better than me, I guess. But it can sound very robotic, very mechanical, and we don't really want it to sound that way if you're making online content, right? So that is the reason I'm dividing them. So let's see the scale. So yeah, impromptu audio is basically um, the audio that doesn't have any script. You can just come on a mic like me and speak whatever I want, but in a certain domain, in a certain creative domain. The only problem with impromptu audio is a lot of energy and a lot of creativity goes into that, and hence it is very much emotional. Uh, but when it comes to script, if a written script is given to me, I can just read it out and without emoting it, and that would become purely scripted. And the other way around is purely emotive, right? So any AI tool can be differentiated on this scale. It can be presented on the scale where one is purely scripted audio, the other is purely emoted audio, and any AI tool can fall between these two cases. For example, if you are using Google Text to Speech, if you are using something like Google Translate, it sounds very mechanical, right? So that falls into purely scripted part. And if you are using something that we are producing, something Gene produces, it might fall a little bit towards the purely emoted part, right? So yeah. So before we go into designing the mystery boxes, let's first understand the major component of these two mystery boxes that I'm talking about. The first one, uh, the first component of these two mystery boxes is translator. Now, most of the time, what happens is whenever we use a translator, for example, if I am the translator, I might not know a particular language that fluently that the other guy knows. For example, I know Hindi, but if I start talking in Hindi, I might not be that fluent. First thing is that. Second is if you're making content online, for example, this meeting, I might not be relatable to a person sitting this meeting because I come from a different background and stuff. But you want to make content so that it can sound to, it can attract audience of a particular category, and it should be related to that particular people. Correct. So to do that, it is very important for us to have a good translator. Uh, the only translator that we all know and we all use uh, is Google Translate. So that's the reason I pointed out Google Translate up here. But there are other translator models better than Google Translate available nowadays you can have that you can use for your generating your script or content. correct? So, one of the these are a few reasons why one should not use Google Translate. I'll show something which is something very interesting. So Google Translate quite before in the day when it was not so fluent in Hindi that it is now. Uh, this was one of the memes that generated at one time. Just, yeah, yeah, at that point in time. Uh, okay, okay. Uh, just give me a second. I'll try to solve this out. Yes, people. So yeah, Vanshika, are you there?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just so much focused and enjoying the presentation at this moment.
Okay.
Vaibhav,
I'm really sorry for this inconvenience.
It's all
by
right.
the
It's all
end,
right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay. I can understand the internet connectivity issues
Rest
across
the
India.
tech is.
Yeah. So Vaibhav, after this entire thing is over, uh, is there some kind of sample videos and audios that you might have from your tests and everything?
yeah, yes, sir. I'll show. I'll actually make you listen a few audios. Uh, after this.
So once we
Maybe I
once
can
we
play it right now.
finish everything, then I would love to hear a couple of those samples. And I'm sure all of us would like to hear
Yeah,
some of the samples and
Absolutely. I
how.
want to see. I want to see how the base starts from there. I'm quite intrigued to see that out as well.
So, Vanshika, your team can probably make a content in English or Hindi, and then we can have
Absolutely.
his platform, and we can have that same content with proper lip sync and emotions and dialect, and have that
Right.
same content in multiple Indian languages.
Absolutely. Making the creative life so easy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
But
Uh,
Vaibhav, if you don't mind, I
Taking
really
little
have
time.
a question till you are figuring out your things out.
Sure.
So, uh, how does the use of this AI enhance the efficiency and accuracy of producing high quality audio content in multiple languages? I mean, coming from a creative background, I really want to understand that, like how I can use it, but only on the terms of high quality audio.
Correct. I'll answer that question before. So first thing is quality, right? Because if you are creating your content, like sir said, if you are creating your content online, you cannot compromise on the quality of the content unless there's no people watching you. So for that, it is very important that our AI model is set in such a way that it understands the logic behind emotions at different set points, right? It is like if I'm speaking right now, maybe I'm little tense, then I speak little rapidly. If I'm little calmer, I speak little slowly, right?
Right.
Different set points. I get rapid or I get slow. I get steady, maybe I get louder. I get little calmer. So I can get little quieter. So all that different things are there. So the something like a phenome encoder, which is a part of a TTS system in AI tool, is used for showing that emotion part of it, which we also extensively use in our model. So so that you don't have to compromise on the emotion part because text is anyway there, right?
Interesting.
Vaibhav, I think you should like close some of the tabs or something which are not in use as of now, so that probably your bandwidth is focused more on the one tab or window that you're currently using. And by the time that is done, tell me something. We were discussing that probably if there are certain language samples which are not available at this point of time, we can give samples and train the AI, right? If I'm not wrong. Vaibhav, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I think
So I
there's
was
some
saying,
problem.
by the time your whole thing
Yeah.
starts rebooted and everything, what I was asking is, you remember we were discussing while there in MIF that if there is language that I need and the samples are not available, then probably what we can do is we can provide it with, and the AI can be trained on that.
Correct, sir. Yeah. So that is
Yes.
that is there.
Uh,
That
so
is a tool where uh,
when I want to train the train the AI, so is there a prescribed number of hours or minutes or kind of number of samples that you recommend to train the AI on a particular? He's dropped out again. I think there is a um, internet issue at his end. So
Yeah,
Vanshika, this looks very interesting and seems very interesting, right? Uh,
absolutely.
and
It's quite, yeah,
and
sorry.
and we can look at different things where we can use this. And the
Right,
best part is,
exactly.
as of now, Vaibhav can give us the access to this for trying out. Either our team or our partners or our, some of the
Right,
students
right.
interested,
Yeah.
and
I
can
think
give us this.
his in-depth knowledge has combined with the ability to, communicate complex ideas in an engaging and understandable way. So, when I was just going through his PPT, I was like, he has inspired not only by the technology itself, but also by the vision he presented in for its future, and it's clear that we are on the cusp of new era in multilingual communications, and thanks in no small part to the innovations he has discussed actually. And I think executing it will be such a great help then.
Yes. And yes, so Vaibhav is finally here. So Vaibhav, I was just asking that let's say I want to train the model on, say, for example, Mizo language. Okay. I am discussing with some government and some of the industries over there. And let's say I want to bring all the Telugu content to the Mizo people in their own language using your, platform. So in order
yes, sir.
for me or you to train your AI model, what kind of voice samples or what kind of inputs would you recommend?
Sir, so there are couple of things before we train a particular model. Mainly, if the language that we want to train is very unique, like the language that you pointed out. Uh,
Hmm.
so the first very important thing for us is to preserve the emotion of the speech,
Right.
right? So to preserve the emotion of the speech, what we require is parallel data set. That is what we call it as. Basically, it is a single person emoting it in different emotions. It is like me talking angrily, uh, in sorrow, in different emotions, so that we can capture the the parameters or what the different values, so that we can recreate them whenever it is required. Correct? Uh, if I'm clear, so are you there? Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Vaibhav, am I audible?
Yes, I'm
Hello.
audible. Sir? Okay. So for that we require parallel data set for that particular language. Uh,
Right.
and one and the
So
data should
let
yeah.
me ask you
Yes, sir.
something.
Please continue.
Can we, your team and our team together, can we figure out a way or probably write a script? Okay, write a script, a one pager or two pager with dialogues and emotions mentioned over there, and let it be a standard for anybody who wants to train the AI in a certain language. Let's say I have a document on your website. If somebody wants to train the AI in Mizo language, let's assume they'll download that entire document. They'll record voiceovers with emotions as per your document mentions, and then this is similar across all languages, and it becomes much more easier for you also to train your AI model. Will it make any kind of difference, Vaibhav?
Yes, yes, yes. Uh,
Fantastic.
so writing a uh, so that is the difference between a large scale model and a small scale model that we are trying to solve as well.
Uh-huh.
So writing a script is a part of it, but if we write a script which is specific to a language, it becomes much easier because, for example, if I am speaking, अगर मैं हिंदी में बात करता हूँ, तो
Mm-hmm.
मेरा नाम वैभव है. So the grammar of the language is in certain way that it can be coded in such a way, right? Because if I go in speaking in Telugu that my name is Vaibhav, na peru Vaibhav. So the difference between both the languages is the grammar or the tense of the word, let's say the sentence, is preserved by the last word in Hindi. Like hey, matlab it's in the present, right?
Right.
Uh,
Interesting.
and correct. But in Telugu, the same thing happens where na peru Vaibhav, the grammar is a intrinsic part of the word. If I say
Okay.
Peru, it is present. It was,
Right.
will be a different word. Correct.
Right. So
So
it's much more
that is,
complex and than I had imagined.
yeah, yeah. That
So the
is
kudos to
why,
your team. So
yes,
so
sir.
sorry for
Thank you.
interrupting. Got carried away with a lot of possibilities which I would imagining. So please continue, Vaibhav, with your presentation.
Yes. So that is what I'm actually talking about. So thank you, sir, for bringing back to content with your question. So Google is a large scale script, right? It has broad scripts, not a single script. But the problem with Google is that it doesn't capture a lot of stuff. This is specific to the particular language. Whereas when you make a script, train a data in such a way that it is specific to a particular language, you get the right emotion conveyed. Because in a language, the grammar is what matters. Because the grammar itself is what is expressing a particular emotion, a particular time, and different other variables that a grammar can express. So one of the biggest problems or with the Google Play is the format issue. For example, uh, there was a time during Olympics that a Norway team ordered, you know, 1500 eggs for the whole team, but they used Google Translate instead because they were in a different place, and the order came as to be 15,000 eggs because of the error that Google Translate used to do at that time. Now it's little better than what it was before. Apart from using Google Translate for yeah, apart from using Google Translate for uh, basic model, the other two problems that Google Translate is uh, data privacy. Most Google Translate models are connected to the cloud, and there might be issues for Google data privacy that you might face in your plans and create uh, plans when it comes to small. The problem is captured well because we have specific storage value for specific language only. So then you have specific storage for specific client according to his needs, his customized and stuff. So that's another area where services. So that offer good advantage to brands as who want go regional. So that's what the trend is. Box that I was pointing out to is the other. The first one is the translator. We translate box. Now we put into text the speech. Before that, I maybe maybe able to repeating word and so this is something like, to see. Uh, 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 on
It's a network issue from Vaibhav's side.
I think so. And Bangalore, even if Bangalore has bandwidth issues, I have nothing.
Yeah,
Let's see, he's joining back.
uh,
Vaibhav, are you online?
yes, sir.
We lost your screen and voice.
yeah.
Do you like LAN cable which you can connect with your laptop rather than Wi-Fi?
Uh, I
There
actually
is a
don't
lot of
have the access to all that.
issue at your end. We are
But
losing your voice.
the,
I think Vaibhav, you're still not
this
audible. So sorry. I think, sir,
hello.
he's okay. Vaibhav, are you there?
I don't know. Yeah. Try the LAN cable. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, you're audible. Sorry.
Okay. So was the audio audible before? I was just confirming. I played the audio maybe.
Now you are audible. On Wi-Fi, we were losing you. Your voice
Yeah.
and your screen both were not properly visible. So if you're on
Also,
LAN right now, I think it would
Okay.
be better.
right. Also, if your presentation ain't working, we can just, just go through the questions that our audiences are asking on a social media platform, and maybe Vaibhav, you can just answer them a bit if that works well with
Sure,
you and
sure,
the
sure.
network, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Take on the percentage. I'll, I'll see if I
Vanshika
can do
and
it.
Vaibhav, let's do one thing.
Right, sir.
Vaibhav, what we'll do is you can screen record your presentation and the documents and send it across to us, and we'll make it available along with the live session at a later point of time. In the meanwhile, Vanshika and I will ask you certain questions and you can answer that. And maybe that is something which our viewers will also be very much, uh, benefit from.
Right.
Yeah.
I think also viewers, I will request just asking questions. I mean, we're gonna enjoy it, and because Weber gonna teach us a lot in that case. So, right, sir. I think I'm gonna just put up one question, before anything comes up now next. So, because there's a lot of students who are like viewing this session, so I was quite intrigued to know that how does this AI technology facilitate the generation of multilingual audio? Like, what are the key steps involved in creating a realistic and accurate voice? Because even being a person who doesn't know a bit about it, I will be very interested to learn in detail that how does it like exactly start from base.
I hope I'm uh, okay. So one very easy way, for example, if you want your audio in multi-language, that you can do is you can generate whatever you want, put it on a Google Translate one, and generate the audio, use it anywhere you want. Like it's as simple as it. But the point is not that. The point is to put down the emotion, and that is done by something called an encoder or vocoder, or in certain places called vocoder or encoder. If you understand English language specifically, uh, every word that you speak has a certain tone, and the tone comes from the phonemes behind, right? Uh, and each phenome can be encoded in certain way. Like every script can be encoded in certain way that we can match it to a particular phenome, right? And the phenome is where the voice modulation comes. Okay? So that is where voice can be modulated and according to the needs of the person. If you want it a little louder, if you want it a little softer or a crisper, because not a lot of audio is most of the audio that you hear is open ended. That means like if you generate a particular audio, it starts at a point, it ends at a point. But when we speak, whenever there is a full stop, we take a pause. Correct. But generated audios nowadays I have pauses, but in a little bit a couple of years ago didn't have that facility, and all those facilities are because of an encoder called vocoder or phenomenon encoder that we generally use. So that is what we use. If you want to go into deep depths of it, I guess most of people listening will get bored, but so I've tried a little bit to explain on the top layer.
Interesting. So, I mean, coming from a media and entertainment industry, I was also having a question that what will be the impact of this technology we have created on the cinema industry? Moreover, as cinema is not just the audio visual thing, but emotions and feelings are also important. So, like, is it possible to even replicate the emotions and feelings in the voice? And if yes, what impact is gonna make it on the industry?
Uh, to be honest, I'll be literal in saying that you are seeing the impact already. There are a lot of web series that you watch in different languages, and those little bit of those web series have used AI for dubbing their content. But in India, when you come back, you see that there's not a lot of recorded data that one can use for their models, and that is the reason why we haven't yet gone to a place where we can actually emote the exact emotions, or that's what we call as procedure transfer, emotional transfer between two audio files. That hasn't been the case. We are trying a little bit, but coming to the impact part, one very important thing that it helps us is audio description. Okay, so for those who don't understand what audio descriptions are, for any content or let's say movies that you watch on Netflix or Geo Cinema or anywhere, there's another option that they offer that is audio description in English, apart from the different languages that they offer. This is because this is for the people who cannot see, for people who cannot, uh, for people who have visual impairment, they cannot watch or they cannot really see it. That is where this technology comes into play, where scene is described using audio. So,
Right.
but the biggest problem there comes is most of the people who cannot see in India are more rooted to their own language than English. And that is where we come in play because we can do it in multiple languages, mainly Indian.
Right. So, Vaibhav, I'll ask you certain very small and very crisp questions which I have received through my WhatsApp from the industry. Uh, will it hurt or will it impact the jobs in the future?
So, will it impact the? I'm sorry.
Will it impact the dubbing artists, the jobs of dubbing artists, or will it hurt the dubbing artist jobs?
So we are not at a place where that can happen, but in the future, one very important thing to keep in mind is AI can only compete with you to certain extent, but AI cannot move forward because we forget that the data that we provide is human made and
Mhm.
AI is trying using it. So once the data comes to a stop, that is when AI stops its work. There are limitations always because data is not immense, and that is more like to empower those guys. It become a little bit competition, or it will become more like, for example, I'm a dubbing artist, and I have to, let's say, do a mega project, a big movie, and I have to dub that movie. But I also have to do couple of movies in my own voice or in a certain person's voice in my own style. So there are multiple projects I'm handling. In that case, I can prioritize a particular project and I can maybe use my own voice using our tool to dub those small projects, right? So in that case, I'm actually monetizing all the three projects instead of one at a certain point, and you can time manage in that way. So it is more like a tool that you can use rather than replacing the which this might not be the case.
So it will help the dubbing artists to increase their quality of work, quantity of work, and reach. Fantastic.
Correct.
So because we all know that as soon as AI came into our industry, generative AI into everything, either images or videos or audio or voice synthesis and all that stuff. Uh, the majority of the question which the industry is asking is, will I lose my job? So that's the reason why a lot of people, commented on my DM that, sir, please ask this if we will be impacted or not. All right, fantastic. So now, how many language does your platform currently support? Local languages.
Yeah, so we support 10 Indian languages, only Indian languages. We're not focusing on global
Mhm.
languages right now. But it is
Right,
expandable. Depends on the data that you provide. We
right,
can train our models and maybe expand to other languages as well.
fantastic.
So, as you
Now,
just said, that is expandable. So, do you think it gonna drive growth and innovation in the media and entertainment industry?
Yeah, definitely. Very important part of growth is time, right? So what we are doing is we are reducing the effort time because you can record it, you can generate it and use it, and then you can focus on the content. Like for example, if it's a news article, there's already an article there. If the emotion is on a very skeptical scale, if the emotion is really intact, then you can use it directly on a media platform, and you can focus to other. You can move on to another news, right? So it can be, you can fasten your reach, you can fasten, how people see stuff, and that is very useful because then people can prioritize what exactly to watch instead of watching all the crap that is there.
Fantastic. And does your AI understand the emotions and the tone of the original audio and then replicate that in a different language, or how does it work?
So, sir, but that's to happen. A lot of more processing and a lot of more effort takes. But right now, what we do is, if there's a certain data that is provided to us, from that uh, we we see different data points where the emotion is expressed really well and try to replicate that. So
Okay.
if you're
Now,
yeah,
yes, please carry on.
so if somebody is using if somebody is trying to replicate from one particular audio, it might not be possible, but it will emote whatever is there in the data. So it depends
Right.
on the scale of data that you provide.
Yes, the more data we feed on to the ML, the better it gives an output. Fantastic. Now, a
I think
most
on simple
crucial part.
words, I will say that some people call it a artificial intelligence, but the reality is this technology will enhance us. So instead of artificial intelligence, I think we will augment our intelligence, is what we can say it now after hearing Weber.
Right. So now,
Definitely.
Vaibhav, another question coming from our education is that what branch of students will be more, if somebody wants to work with you or your technology or similar
Right.
kind of work, and I'm talking purely from a creative or a media aspect. Okay, I'm not talking from a point of like, programming background, because all of
Yeah, yeah.
our partners and all of our students are purely from a media entertainment background. So we'll have students who are from sound engineering, students
Correct.
from voiceovers, we'll have students from actors. Now, if they want to get involved in these kind of innovations and start working with you or
Yeah.
collaborate with you or get into this particular side of the industry, what do you suggest them to do? How can they come into this? How can they collaborate? How can they uh, add value?
Yes, sir. So if people are interested, if they can speak multiple languages, like two or three languages more fluently, and are really good in expressing themselves, like actors. They have a great role to play in data acquisition because data is a very important part of this industry. If AI
Right.
has to come into play. Apart from that, sound engineers, audio engineers have larger scope now because uh, every word that we speak can only uh, can only be communicated well if there is a background score, background audio, a little bit which is more relatable to the particular content that we display, right? So it is very important for even us to have a particular person who is doing sound engineering as part because every client that comes to us needs a background score, needs something which is created right then. We can't use already created audio anyways. So all that is there, and also understanding the noise filters, understanding of various audio aspects is very important for them. And if you are not in both of them, but you are still interested in working with us, we are open because you can just come and try your stuff out, and we'll see where we can accommodate you.
So, in a nutshell, what we can clearly understand, people from uh, music industry, they can collaborate, they can work very well in this, they can integrate well in this. Voiceover artists or actors who are learning acting or voiceover, becoming voiceover artists, they are the most suitable people to get into
Yeah,
this particular part of technology and thrive. But yes,
correct.
it is still open to others who would like to explore. Fantastic. And this will make a lot of our students and education to know that this is something where their students can also contribute. Fantastic information, Vaibhav. And
Absolutely.
Vanshika,
The key, yeah, absolutely. I think the key of AI has always been the representation, and student gonna learn this through this session for sure. So I think, Vaibhav, thank you for insightful and thoughtful, provoking presentation and covering up all the answers so conveniently. I think your talk on the use of AI was nothing short of exceptional. And
I'll I'll ask
yes,
just
sure,
one question last. So,
sure, sir,
Vaibhav, if
sure, sir.
somebody, some organization or some college or a university would like to test out your tool, how do they do that? Is it a standalone software? Is it a website? Is it a mobile app? How do
So we are in testing phase right now, so you can visit www.teamsync.co.in. I'll share the link with you guys.
Mhm,
So you can visit the website and there can avail the early access one. That's the surprise that actually we wanted to plan. But anyways,
mhm.
so anybody who's interested to try on AI tools is looking to, is an author and wants to generate audiobooks. Once you just look on audio content in multi languages, you can go to DealSync. It probably appears in second search on Google. You can go there
For
and
of the
there's a
viewers
early
and
access
listeners who
button.
are
You
there,
can sign in.
it's yeah, it's dreamsync.co.in. So fantastic. So I have a partner with us, partner and a friend who has animation company, and they have a lot of IPs, and most of them
Okay.
are either in Hindi or Bengali, right? So they would like to test out if they can convert their own IPs, either one small part of it or a little bit of that into, say, probably Telugu or Kannada or Tamil or Malayalam. And if those are
Yeah.
on those list of 10 languages that you already have, and try out. So if that is satisfactory, then I think you'll get a lot of industry focused data points from these kind of you know uh, trials that you are currently doing. So I think MESC and DreamSync has a lot of synergy which we can explore in terms of education, in terms of production, in terms of the entire industry altogether. And as Vanshika was very rightly saying, uh, it was a fantastic presentation and question and answer session. And I would request you to, if at all you can, please share us with the presentation, which we can then, make it available for anybody who is interested to learn a little bit about that. And Vanshika, all yours, please.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, sir. I think, Weber, you illuminated the complexities involved in the field with clarity and enthusiasm, showing that how AI can be harnessed to produce high quality, natural sounding audio in multiple language. I mean, tremendous. So, thank you once again, Weber, for sharing your knowledge and for sparking such an important and exciting conversation.
Uh, Thank you, sir. First, it's always really nice to speak with you. And I know there has been a little problem from my side, but I'll share everything
Happens
that
with
I
all of us, trust me, happens with all of us. And I think the viewer's gonna understand it as well. They're gonna connect. That's how technology working. So no need to be sorry.
yeah, but I'll share all the content with you guys. You can also go on LinkedIn and search Teamsync there. I'll share the PPT with the team as well as on LinkedIn, so you can see there. And maybe I don't know whether you guys enjoyed this or not, but give me a little bit feedback on this. So get and so that I can do better next time. Okay.
You have done a fab job, trust me. And that's all for the feedback. We have been like enjoying it a lot. We questioned you, that's why. Because we were enjoying your answers.
And
Thank
Vaibhav, there'll only be more questions rather than any kind of feedback. Trust me, there'll be a lot of questions. People are, as I said, I am getting DMs like anything. My phone is buzzing. So there'll be a lot of questions, and I'll make sure to collate all of that and send you only the relevant ones which we think should be, answerable. And we'll see. We want to do something more with you, probably on a live session physically somewhere in our training centers across India, wherever it is possible. Uh, get you live in front of students and the audience. And it was a fantastic session. And we hope to see your company and your startup grow and reach out to a much higher place. And trust me, MESC is always there to help you out with the industry connects and whatever we can do to, take this collaboration ahead. Thank you so much for your time and all the efforts in answering all of our weird questions and providing all this knowledge to our next generation who is coming to the industry now. So thank you so much from the entire team and all the viewers who were listening to us live. And let's hope to catch up very soon and do something great.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for all the support. We're completely open, and I'm completely open for all the opportunities that you offer. So hopefully it makes soon, sir.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Thanks, Anirudh sir, for being a part of the session as well.
Thank you, Vanshika, for taking this
Yes.
so smoothly. And all the viewers, thank you all for giving your time to attend the session. All of your attendance gives us the confidence to move ahead and bring all such new innovative companies and people in front of you. So with that, we say the final goodbye and thank you all
Absolutely.
once again.